Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. This is your yearly WWE Survivor Series review. This is kind of funny, okay? So the show just finished, and if you haven't watched the main event yet, stop right now and come back to it later. So I'm going to ruin it for you if you haven't. Bill Goldberg, a 50-year-old man, just defeated Brock Lesnar in his prime by a squash. Brock Lesnar got 0 offense in. Goldberg, spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. Celebrate with his fucking kid half naked in the ring. Dude, what the fuck was that? Like, if you built a funny... Like, I didn't realize I was watching a comedy show. If it was a comedy show, fucking bravo, Vince. You're a genius. You spent 3 years, building up Brock Lesnar. You spent building, beating legend, defeating the 21-year undefeated streak of WrestleMania to put over Bill Goldberg? Jesus. I would have been less mad if he used it to at least put Roman Reigns over. At least, at least he's putting over the youth. But he's putting over a 50-year-old man who's probably never going to wrestle again. And does that mean Goldberg's better than Taker? Because Taker couldn't beat Lesnar. Clean. Goldberg did in 5 seconds. Unbelievable. Absolutely hysterical. It's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. Hysterical. I was there pissing myself with my friend. No, I had a friend over. It was absolutely fucking hysterical. We wetted ourselves. This show, ladies and gentlemen, do you give this show as a tradition with KocoSports where you offer a win, loss, or tie? Do you give this show a loss? Do you give the show a tie, or are you an imbecile? I give this show... Dude, when I come to think about it, I'm going to give this show the weakest tie. Like, it was borderline loss, but I enjoyed some of the wrestling. Okay, and I'm going to break it down for you. If you're listening live, I appreciate it and thank you. But please put in the comments, do you give a show win, loss, or tie? Thoughts, queries, questions about the show. And once I've finished reviewing it all and analyzing it and breaking down and laughing at it, we will actually, fuck it, this show is a loss. Who the fuck am I? This show was a loss, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I don't want to say things, because if you're watching this without watching the show, if it's a tie, I might give it a watch. Do not watch this show. If you're not watching this live now and you don't know if you want to watch the show or not, do not watch this show. Okay, so I give the show a loss, quite up front. Toronto, Ontario, Canada is where we're from. The pre-show, we had Drew Gulak, Tony Nese, Daivari versus Noam Dar, Rich Swann, and TJ Perkins. This was basically just a cheap shield promotion of the 205 live event, which is starting every week, starting next Tuesday, which I'm extremely looking forward to reviewing on this channel. Graves, Marinella on commentary. The commentary changed all night. And there was at one point where it got so bad, like the commentary team even read it down. Like, awful. So Daivari hit a nice kidney punch followed by a neck breaker for 2. Daivari's very underrated in my opinion. Like, out of all these Cruiserweight guys that are on the roster right now, I think he's very underrated out of the lot. Perkins hit a nice tope con hilo over the referee. Swann hits your standing 450 to get the win. Swann's on a bit of a roll here. He's beaten Brian Kendrick a few times in the past. A win at Survivor Series, maybe a future title match down the line, maybe on 205 Live. Then we have a backstage interview with Kalisto. Kalisto says he always wanted the Cruiserweight title. He lists off Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, etc. Kendrick comes in, says he's the face of the division, and says he beat you last week on Raw. No, he didn't. And then he goes, exactly. I beat Sin Cara, who's the better version of you, trying to get heel heat. I like that a lot. Then we have Kane versus Luke Harper. This is the first of the funny moment. Do you know when we look back, and there's always things called OMG moments? Just from this show, okay, you had a 48-year-old man, defeat a guy in his prime like Luke Harper. That's unforgivable. Ladies and gentlemen, that is unforgivable. Shame, embarrassing. Kane got the win after the chokeslam. This is Luke Harper's 4th Survivor Series, maybe 3rd. This is Kane's 18th. And that guy's 18th is beating the guy who's its 3rd. A win for Luke Harper against a guy like Kane on Survivor Series pre-show would have done wonders for him. Why can't they just have the young talent win? This is why no one is over, ladies and gentlemen. It is why no one is over. It's so fucking annoying. This company is dirty. Started the show off. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. We have the women. And by the way, Raw fucked SmackDown so hard that their penis is stuck in there, quite frankly. And they're going to need Vincent Mann's fucking huge muscle arms to pull it out. Jesus Christ. So we have Team Raw, which is Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Alicia Fox, and Nia Jax versus SmackDown's Lynch, Naomi, Bliss, Carmella, and Nikki. Nikki was attacked backstage. Doctor can't clear, and Natalia, excuse me, Natalia says she'll take her place. Loud yes chants. Good choice, Canada. All 10 brawl until Nia Jax launches all 5 women from the SmackDown brand into their corner. I like that a lot. They did excuse me, where the writing let this whole show down, I think the wrestling was actually pretty good. Like, I like the way the storytelling there was. They did a good job of building Strowman. They did a decent enough job of building Nia Jax. Even though both weren't victorious, they still looked strong, which was very, very important. So you had Fox and Carmella having one of the most fucking atrocious starting exchanges in Survivor Series history. Fox eliminates Carmella with a scissors kick. Bliss eliminates Alicia Fox with the Sparkle Splash. Bliss is very growing on me, ladies and gentlemen. She is really great. If you told me this time last year that the Bird with Alexa Bliss and Buddy Murphy I would be praising in a 5-on-5 women's match, I would have laughed in your face. Naomi hits a crossbody off the top to the floor. Naomi gets counted out. It's funny. Lots of count outs. Banks hits a double stomp off the apron to the floor. Natalia rolls up Sasha Banks. At least they're trying to protect Sasha. I'll give them that. Okay. Charlotte hits a big boot, eliminating Natalia. Jax suplexes both Bliss and Lynch, again touching on earlier. They did a great job of making these monsters looking like actual monsters, which is a change for them. Lynch. Just as I said that, I reread and re-jog in my memory what I just watched. Becky Lynch applies the disarmer and Jax taps. Your monster heel, ladies and gentlemen, just tapped to an armbar, when her arm is the size of her body. That's unpayable. I want my refund, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I watch the network for all the classical content. Like right now, I'm going through 2004 Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views just before I go to sleep. So I look at it as I pay for an NXT and I pay for the on-demand classic archives. I think if I paid £15 for this show, I'd be phoning up my Sky and saying I want a refund because this was disgraceful. So now your monster heel is eliminated by a cross arm breaker from a £150 woman. Charlotte big boots Bliss. Charlotte now has a fetish for feet. She's just obsessed with this fucking big boot business. 2-1 now. So you got Charlotte and Bayley versus Becky Lynch. Bayley hits just Bayley to get the win. Just Lynch showed no sign of, usually when it's a handicap start, so it's 2-on-1, the babyface gets a bit of offense in, but then they get cut off and sadly lose. It was just boom. SmackDown. Vince. Do you know what this is? What it is Vince has been listening to all the internet people, like not obviously myself, obviously bigger names say SmackDown's better, Raw sucks. This is Vince going, fuck you. We do what we want. Raw's the dominant one. It's 3 hours long. You're gonna deal with it, and it's out of order. Charlotte then attacks Bayley. I'm guessing we're gonna get Charlotte versus Bayley at the Roadblock event. I don't have an issue with that. The issue I have is you're using what they're making out is a big deal of Charlotte versus of the Team Raw versus Team SmackDown women's match as a way to build to a fucking Roadblock pay-per-view. Shame. IC title match up next. We have The Miz versus Sami Zayn. Commentary, listen to this. Hold on to your boots. Michael Cole, David Otunga, Byron Saxton. The 3-man dream team, ladies and gentlemen. The 3-man dream team. Get the fuck out of here, you cunt. Miz, to be fair, worked to the left leg the whole entire match. Zayn, decent enough or to good job of selling this. Crowd are dead in Sami Zayn's hometown. That says it all. And that's not Sami Zayn's fault. That's the way he's been presented. He's been presented as an underdog joke who's never going to get out of anything. Miz applies the figure 4 working the leg. Zayn figure 4 of his own. Maurice rings the bell just as Zayn has the figure 4 on, which obviously makes Sami Zayn drop a blind hold. Miz then rolls him up to get the win. IC title staying on SmackDown Live, and I don't understand. I'm at the point now where I could really give a fuck. Like, I just sat through 5.5 hours of WWE content, and I don't want to watch another 5 of Raw and SmackDown. I really don't. And if you watch this pay-per-view, my heart's out with you, and I know how tired you are, especially live in England, bro. It's 3:52 a.m. right now. The reason why I'm up is A, ladies and gentlemen, monster. That's the reason why I'm up. But B, more importantly, is this show. C, because it was so comical. Like, the writing of this show was so bad. Like, In my mind, I was like, okay, prediction wise, my lock was the IC title was going to go over to Raw, the Cruiserweights will go over to SmackDown, because then you could unify the US and the W World title like Kane did back at, this is a running joke here, back at No Mercy 2002, where Kane forfeited his Intercontinental Championship for a shot at Triple H's World title. He lost, so the Intercontinental title was defunct until it was brought back by Stone Cold Steve Austin heading into the Judgment Day 03 pay-per-view. Here, it's garbage. It's so we're offering you change, but we're too uncreative to give you that change. We're going to offer you that, and it's not happening. And the psychology of this match was working the body part, that was working that leg, work that leg, and you worked it, and the finish was a roll up, not even holding the leg. If he like pinned that leg down with his elbow, like really digging in, maybe some points from me, but working the body part the whole entire match to then just not bother with it. Star and a half from me. Disappointing. And the women's match, by the way, I gave 2.25, because the women's wrestling itself wasn't actually too shabby. Just the writing was so piss poor. Then we have backstage AJ and Dean Ambrose are bickering about their TLC match, which are having it 2 weeks in the TLC pay-per-view. They're so creative with their names, aren't they? You know, we have, the TLC, we have Roadblock. Come on, guys. Shane tells them get on the same page, again, alluding to the AJ Dean brawl. I don't mind, because they're still building the pay-per-view. But you don't build pay-per-view to pay-per-view. On the pay-per-view, you build to tomorrow's Raw or Tuesday's SmackDown. Then you start building to the next pay-per-view. I'd never understand that business. Then you have Hulu adverts, and it's like a K-Lee gimmick type of adverts on a show I paid $9.99 to watch. Then we had a tag team, Raw versus SmackDown. You had Enzo and Cass, The Club, Shining Stars, Sheamus and Cesaro, the tag team champions for over 365 days in the New Day. Remember that. Versus Rhino and State of the SmackDown Live Tag Champs, Breezango, the Usos, the Hype Bros, and American Alpha. So the Hype Bros get zero reaction because they're zero talented and have zero respect from me. Listen to this. So if you have not watched this show, which I'm expecting all of you to have, but just picture yourself, you sat down here in this chair, and obviously in this chair, but you sat wherever you are, or you're walking, wherever you are, and you're listening, and you're thinking to yourself, clear your mind of all that garbage we just watched in a Survivor Series. Now say to yourself, how would I book this? Would having the New Day, the tag team champions for over 400 days, being eliminated first via a super kick, which isn't even the person's finisher, would that come to your head? No. That's what happened. The Usos super kicked, New Day eliminated. And Breezango got eliminated early on, which pissed me off because I was looking forward to them being in it. But Mojo, he's not shit. He's fucking shit. And he's so shit, watching him breathe makes me nauseate and makes me just cringe. He wore these goofy ass gear. He looked like a jobber. He's presented as a jobber, and he's a jobbing piece of shit. I do not want to see him on my TV. I don't want to see him on an advertisement. I don't want to see him in the video game. I don't want to see him on slam cards. I don't want to see him have an action figure. I don't want this man anywhere near, not alone in the WWE, because if he gets fired from the WWE, I don't want to ruin what I love as independent pro wrestling and New Japan and Japanese and Mexican and Lucha Libre. I don't want him anywhere near that. Like, if he gets fired, I want him to be done. Like, I want it in his contract where he can only wrestle for WWE nowhere else, because this stinks. Like, at least he's making something that suck even more. So, Mojo, you are the VIP of the day for sucking so much, you cunt. Unbelievable. Club hits the Magic Killers, gets the fucking Hype Bros out of here. Fucking Zack Ryder. The only reason you're over is because you made a YouTube show, you fucking prick. Alpha hit the Steiner's finisher, gets the Shining Stars out. There's a big 12-man brawl, which was pretty interesting. Slade hit an elbow drop. It was kind of an elbow drop. He kind of just fell backwards off the top to the floor. Gable hit a nice toe pick on Hilo. Club hit the Magic Killer, eliminating American Alpha. The team that has been spending time in NXT to the point where they're so fucking over in every arena they were getting loud pop of the night, pop of the night, pop of the night. They come to Raw, they come to SmackDown, and they're buried. They are buried. They were eliminated after the Shining Stars. I do not know what this company's doing. I would be ashamed if I was on that writing team. And you know what the problem is? There's a problem is Vince is at the top of the table, and he has a bunch of yes men who want to suck and lick his cock. Shame, shame, shame. Rhino Gauze, which eliminates the Club. There's another one of, come from New Japan Pro Wrestling and all the greatness that they did here. Come to WWE and they just get jobbed like their sacks of crap. And that hurts. it hurts. Like, I'm coming on here and being joking, but it actually hurts me because I don't want WWE to suck. Like, I don't. I want this to be so good. I want to come on here and say, you know what? You should go to WWEnetwork.com and buy the subscription. That's what I want to come in here and say. I'm not, because the show sucks. Like, if I was a wrestler on this show, I would want Vince to pay me and then fire me because I don't want to work for this damn company anymore. Damn, son. Unbelievable. Uso splash. That gets rid of Enzo. Enzo splash gets rid of Rhino and Slater, the other way around. Now you're left with two teams. A non-full-time team in Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Usos. Sheamus white noise off the top was very nice. Uso splash off the top for 2. Cesaro gets your hot tag. Uso applies a tequila sunrise, Cesaro counters into the sharpshooter. Usos tap. Raw 2-0. They're pounding SmackDown in the arse and hard. No lubrication or nothing. Just straight in there. Unbelievable. And it's a shame because, you know, I prefer SmackDown, and it's Vince's way again of saying fuck you, and it hurts. The match was good. The booking was more than embarrassing. I'm going to give it 2.5 because I'm not going to take away from these wrestlers. Like, if you watch this and you're tolerant to booking, if you're like, you know what, I don't care how it's booked. I just want to have wrestling be wrestling and enjoy it. This was a good fucking wrestling match. I'm not going to lie to you. This was a good wrestling match, but the way it was booked, the way it was laid out, the way it was structured, was embarrassing. It was a joke. If I was on that writing team and I had my resume and I was only on the writing team for a week, so I literally just writ Survivor Series, then got fired, I wouldn't even put Survivor Series on my resume. I'll be that embarrassed. We then go to the Raw office because that's the only place backstage that exists, that and the locker room. Like, back in the Attitude Era, like, what happened to the days where the wrestlers walked in? You saw, like, the big stars like Austin and The Rock arriving and Kurt Angle arriving and then being interviewed just as they arrived. That doesn't happen anymore. You might get that on a WWE.com interview. They make the New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus. So Cesaro and Sheamus, you know, the sole survivors, and New Day, the tag champs, who were the first of their team to be eliminated because it's WWE. So why couldn't you have just said, the winning team, whichever team wins, you get a automatic Raw tag team titles? Then you're going to be more emotionally attached. But it just hurts. Cruiserweight title. Remember the winning brand. So if Kalisto won, the Cruiserweights went over to SmackDown. Kendrick won, stayed on Raw. The crowd is dead. I'm feeling dead. My brain's even deader after sitting through this shit. Nice technical, fast-paced chain wrestling. It's really nice. Kalisto hit a really nice Spanish fly off the apron to the floor. Kendrick hits the captain's hook. So when he's on top, he flings him backwards. Really, really nice stuff. Kalisto doesn't tap, though. Kalisto hits the Sarraydale cell, whatever the fuck he calls it, sliced bread standing for a 2, good near fall. Corbin then comes out. He attacks Kendrick and Kalisto and then hits the end of days on Kalisto. And I literally wrote on my notes, he must be punished on SmackDown Live. So that the actual best part of this show was Bryan shouting at Corbin next. I'll jump to that. Bryan shouts at Corbin, telling him to leave, and he'll be dealt with on Tuesday. That's actually some good writing. That must have been a SmackDown brand writing that. But my God, like, the match was good. It was going great. And again, the writing of this show was abysmal. It was so poor. Awful. So they go through all that match and then Corbin attacks him. Why couldn't Corbin just attack him during his entrance? Why? So he wasted all that time. You know, he just sat. Can you picture Corbin sat there going, now's a good time to attack? Come on, looking at that kayfabe wise, if Corbin wants to go out there and beat the shit out of Kalisto, why is the guy who doesn't care about authority going to wait for the match to be close to the end? It just doesn't make sense to you, doesn't make sense to me, and I feel sorry for you if it does make sense to you. I'm not that person. I'm very rarely that guy. There is lots of people out there who do that, who either they A, kiss the audience's ass, or B, comes on and buries the audience saying, oh, if you like this, you're an idiot. For the first time since being on this channel, and I've been full-time on this channel since January, I was on this channel for over 1.5 years now, I will be concerned if there's people who thought the writing for this show was good. If people enjoyed this show and they have a high tolerance for the writing, that's a different story. But if you come here and put the writing over, then I will think you're an imbecile. And I'd never do that. Raw versus SmackDown, another 5-on-5 men. So you have Kevin Owens, Universal Champion, Jericho, Ranger, US Champ, and the way he holds the belt just makes me want to punch him. He looks like such an arrogant cock. Rollins and Strowman versus Randy Orton, AJ Styles, your World Champion, Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, and Shane McMahon. One thing I did like about this is when they all came out and then they all got on the ring. So Team Raw was one side, Team SmackDown was this side. It was the champion from Owens being the leader, getting in the champion, the leader of SmackDown's faces saying, look, I'm the world champion. No, I'm the Universal champion. I'm the man. No, I'm the man. I love that. I wish in the women's match they did that. They didn't. Jericho was the most over, hands down. Rollins and Dean Ambrose had an absolutely beautiful exchange to kick off this. And considering, you know, for the past few months, we've been saying that Ambrose's in-ring work has suffered and dimmered down. We call him the dimmer dummy Dean Ambrose, but he really did bring his A-game here. And Shane McMahon officially, he knocked a full star off this match, the rating-wise, because his punches were that bad, ladies and gentlemen. His punches still have not improved. Owens hits a swanton bomb off the top to the floor, and Michael Cole goes, that's why he's our Universal Champion and our team captain. So if all it takes is to do a flip off the fucking top rope, I'll fucking go, and then I'll be like, Vince, I want to be the captain. You stupid asshole. Ambrose and AJ, they keep brawling, which I like. Strowman then power slams Ambrose and eliminates him. And I'm thinking to myself, you just had the #1 contender for the world title on a show where you literally spent a whole segment dedicated to promoting TLC for the Ambrose AJ match, and you had the challenger job to the opening thing. Oh, it's absolutely hysterical. Strowman then launches AJ over the top rope to the point where I'm fucking freaking out. I'm thinking he's dead. Dangerous move, ladies and gentlemen. Go back and watch it if you haven't. It was really risky. And the camera angle just made it look great. So Kevin Dunn, you cock, but you did a good job there. Bray and Strowman have a good stare down. Strowman, he takes out Wyatt. Shane then hits an elbow drop off the top to Strowman through the table. Then finally, Strowman's about to get counted out. He goes to get in, but Ellsworth has his foot. He's under the ring. He has his foot. So Strowman got eliminated due to count out, protecting Strowman. I do like that a lot. So then Strowman throws Ellsworth off the stage through the table. And if you guys have been following this, you know that put a big old grin on this Englishman's face. Brilliant. Owens then gets eliminated by DQ. I don't want to talk about it, please. I don't want to get mad again. Orton RKO's Jericho to eliminate Jericho. You know, the most over guy in the match. But Reigns gets the hot tag. He takes out all four because Vince. He goes mad. Shane goes for a coast to coast. Reigns in midair hits a spear. And Shane's eyes did not move. It was so bad to the point where when Reigns covered him, hooked the leg, it was 1-2, the ref stopped because Shane's shoulders were up, where he's like couldn't move. And I hope he's okay. I hope tomorrow by Raw we have an update on Shane McMahon condition. We'll obviously give that. I hope he's okay. He got loads of doctors helped him out. I swear to God, I hope he's okay. We may bash this, but I'm bashing the writing. I'm not bashing the talent. The talent gave their all tonight. If I was wearing a cap, I would tilt it. Nothing against the talent, but Shane, that looked nasty. It was strange. I thought it looked nasty, but I was sat with my friend and he said he was fine. He was just selling. But either way, I hope he is okay. And it was a really cool spot, by the way. Speaking of cool spots, I've written my notes. Reigns legit killed him. Rollins and AJ had a pretty nice sequence, and I really want their match after seeing them lock up and just have a short exchange. It just really made me want Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles so freaking bad. And I hope if we have a draft next year that they're both on the same brand. Rollins hit a superplex into a Falcon Arrow, which is absolutely gorgeous. Ambrose then come out. They beat on AJ. They powerbomb him shield-wise through the announce table. The crowd are going ballistic. If you're a Shield fan, you will absolutely adore this. If you're a Shield lover, like I know on my social media anyway, Twitter at LK Wrestling, I'll follow you back. They were just screaming batshit crazy. I'm on the fence. See, I'm a believer in like Goldberg coming back. I thought that was really special because it was so long. I think because at Battleground just a mere 5 months ago they were all involved in a match together. They kind of just go to the well one time too many. But if you're a fan of The Shield, I completely understand how you loved and admired and will watch and masturbate over that for a very long time. I thought it was really cool. It was a good moment. It was a Survivor Series moment, one of the best moments of the show. I didn't mark out like a lot of people did, but that's personal opinion. And again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying my opinion here is that it didn't faze me that badly. But if it did, I would see it great. Again, he must be punished on Tuesday. That #1 contendership he has, deleted. Gone. Delete. Gone. He's no longer number. If I'm writing this show, you have to follow up. He cost Team SmackDown the win. He needs to be punished. Daniel Bryan should strip him of #1 contendership. Simple. Rollins covers AJ's eliminated. Boom, page 6, here we go. It's now 2v2, so you got Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins now versus Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. Harper then comes out, he takes out Reigns, but then Rollins takes out Harper. Rollins goes for a frog splash, and in midair, Randy Orton hits one of the most beautiful RKOs I've ever seen in my life, number 3. And you know I always say, it's not an LK show if I don't say this. If you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get Randy Orton. Simple. His new line is, the great ones make it look easy. That's his new line. So we went from if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up to even the great ones make it look easy from JBL. Reigns spears Orton because Orton pushes Bray Wyatt away. He gets a spear. Wyatt then hits a Sister Abigail to get the win. The writing confused me an awful lot as usual, but the wrestling was still good. Wrestling ran to him. Literally made me shock me so much. I sent him a tweet. You guys know he's a big Bray Wyatt fan, and Bray Wyatt always gets fucked. I sent him a tweet, and you can follow him and check him out on YouTube. He does so much great content. I sent him a tweet saying, "Holy fuck, your boy Bray Wyatt just won." And it was unbelievable. But he even said it maybe a little bit too late. But 3 stars, 3.5. I'll give it 3.5. I'll change my notes. I have 3 stars. Or maybe I was a bit stingy and a bit tired. I'll give it 3.5 looking back and reflecting. There were some cool moments there. It looked as if they spent their whole creative time working this match out and fucking everything else. Speaking of fucking everything else, you have Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. Fantasy warfare comes alive, a.k.a. we want to get our video game shilled. Like, it was the shilling of the century. They shilled that game to nauseum. This was not a match. It had that big fight feel. The first offense, 2 spears, and a jackhammer. End of it. That was the end of the match. Yep, that was the match. I was analytically breaking that match down, hold for hold. The match started off. Brock Lesnar picked him up, put him in the corner. Goldberg spear, jackhammer. Celebrated with his half-naked son on international TV, which really didn't particularly go well for me, but. You had a man, let's just throw the notes on the floor, let's forget about that. You just had a man who's 50 years old defeat a guy in his prime who's a UFC fighter and a guy who defeated The Undertaker's 21 years winning streak for nothing. Like, Brock could have put someone else over. Brock could have made Shinsuke Nakamura. Could have made Samoa Joe. We talk about all the time, me and Sammy, how Samoa Joe and Brock should be the Mania match. Imagine Samoa Joe beats Brock. It's like, I don't care. Brock beat him in 5 seconds. Why should I care? You know? And then tomorrow on Raw, Brock probably won't be there. So there's no follow-up. Brock didn't attack Goldberg after the match. There was no follow-up. It was a waste of time. It was a joke. It was an embarrassment. Fuck you, Vince. I'm nearly speechless. It was that bad. So we're going to get us some live comments. So let me move this fucking thing, get my old Google device, and go on the old live commenters. I want to thank you all for watching. Really happy that there is lots of people watching. That does make me extremely happy. 21 viewers for us. We're only a small-time channel, so that really does help. So we're going to get some live comments. So I really do appreciate all these live comments, and that makes me extremely happy when I come on here and I see that. So you have Andy Paps, baby. He puts either Brock was using steroids or he's heading back to the UFC. That's a great shout. That might be the punishment from the NSA or NADA or whatever gimmick it was. Andy Pap says, thank God I didn't pay for this. It's a pirate's life for you. You know what? I don't care because I paid for the network, not the pay-per-view. Heavy J says, so everything remains the same. What a waste. Yeah, it was a waste. You could have not watched this show. It wouldn't have made a difference. I'd watch the main event for comical reasons. If that match isn't on Comedy Central tomorrow lunchtime, I'm going to be pissed off, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Cashman says, what's up, LK? Just leaving Survivor Series live. I got to tell you, I'm going to both shows live. NXT was better. There you are, ladies. Look, that's what it's all about. Andy Pap's boy at Survivor Series, and he's still checking us out here on KocoSports. That makes me extremely happy. I am Mike Cashman. Thank you very much. You're a very loyal member of this internet infantry, and I do appreciate that. And NXT was better. I didn't cover NXT because Saturday is my day off. I make it my law. I went out, had a great time with my friends. Saturday is my day off. I have to have one day off. NXT TakeOver was 50 times better than that. Perhaps WWE is becoming WCW, the old guys not giving up their spots to the young guys. The difference is Vince is writing it that way. Vince is writing. It's not guys coming in with their contract. It's Vince writing it that way. Daniel Price says, Vince paid him a shitload to do the job. That's potential. But why would you? As a businessman, you can make so much money with Brock. It just doesn't make sense. Fran Yelly puts, hello guys, what have I missed? Fran Yelly, another long-time listener. Dude, that was one of the worst things. Dude, just watch the main event for comical reasons. Then don't worry, it doesn't take very long. Daniel Price, Jack's tapping to the armor, kill suspension of disbelief. Thank you, glad you agree. Daniel Price says, okay, I'm telling you, brother, read that Lance Storm article. It gives insights how Vince thinks whilst hate fucking the fans. He does, and he's a joke, and he can suck my English knob. Not Lance Storm. Lance Storm's fucking amazing. Vince McMahon. I am Mike Ashman. Live in Rourke was dope, but the overall storytelling and flow of the show was bad. I completely agree, and I've said this so many times throughout the show. This isn't me bashing the wrestling. This is me bashing the writing, because this is a fucking joke. Can you hear that rain? Dude, it's fucking tipping it down here in England. Benoit Normand. Sami Zayn is from Montreal, not Toronto. That's a good shout. I'm sorry, I'm not says the guy who got a C in geography. In England, geography is not learning about other countries. It's about learning about waves and volcanoes and all this shit. Antium Bishop says, so in fairness, ICW Fear and Loathing shitted on this show. Note, have not seen it, but read everywhere about it. NXT rules all. Yeah, and that ICW show, I'm really pissed off. Because literally before Survivor Series, I was watching ACW, American Combat Wrestling, from Saturday. On the Flow Slam app, and I'm going to be reviewing that on Wednesday for you guys. And I was really annoyed I had to turn it off, which it just really helped me, because I have Sunday and Monday off this week, and I was just, you know what, I'm going to watch some good pro wrestling. I watched NXT today when I woke up, then I watched ACW, and I was getting just to the end, and then I had to switch it off for this shit. Then we have Dan Price, the Katie Vic, Edward Mohan. Dude, why are you hating? I hate because I care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't. And if someone wants to know whether or not they should watch this show and they type in Survivor Series 2016 review and this pops up and I'm bashing it, it's not making them pay for this event. So I feel good about myself. Daniel Price says the Roman Reigns reaction. The G-Rock freak. NXT doesn't rule all. It's just nobody wanted to be an indie company but not doing it as well. You know what? Normally I'd agree with you. When I do my weekly NXT reviews every single week with Boom Booms, most of the time I give the show a tie or sometimes a win, but their takeovers, my friend, are bloody brilliant. Edward Mohan puts, wrestling always throws you a curveball. Mike Ashman says the live crowd was so pissed we never got Taker. Yeah, I was more pissed at Goldberg and Brock more than anything. I was like, you paid your money, and the build for that was Goldberg, Brock, Fantasy Warfare, and they fantasy fucked you hard, my friend. Daniel Price at LK, yes, wearing down your opponent has given way too many spot fests. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm glad someone else agrees with me. There is nothing wrong with psychology, methodically working a body part for a match, but when these guys do it and it's done wrong, it pisses me the fuck off. And then there's arguments about talking about NXT. And then Daniel Price says, when I was a kid, it was the chain wrestling and mat technician types matches and the high spots were used sparingly. I miss those days as well. And I said on my favorite five is Angle, Benoit. I adore them. Like I remember my first match was Royal Rumble 01 and Kane was the guy who was dominant. That was my first ever match in a pay-per-view because I was recording on Channel 4 so I could watch it the next day when I got home from school. But here, Benoit and Angle was where my wrestling pure hardcore fandom kicked in. That was the match that started all. And I will not talk about Benoit on a live review because I'll get myself into trouble. Daniel Price says, what does he put? Edward Mayon says, that I agree with you. I hate the hype bros. I agree. Dan Price says, go check out the interview of Dutch Mantel where it blew his mind how incept the writers were and Dunn should be executed. A bit harsh. The J-Rock Freak says, oh, LOL, I may hate NXT, but its hands better than... Live comment of the night. I may hate NXT, but its hands better than the main product. Oh, I thought it was said something else. G-Rock, I may hate NXT, but its hands better than the main product. You got it right there. NXT's not perfect. Takeover usually are really good, but it's still better than the main product. I agree with you. Banzai Samurai, that was painful to watch. Granted, I still the pay-per-views on my PC, so I'm happy I didn't pay for this garbage. Loss from me. Takeover was way better. Probably shouldn't have read that out loud, should I, have, my friend? Shane was really sloppy all match. He kept hitting his hand off the mat. Even his offensive bumps, he hurt himself. Yeah, he's really not that great, is he? Dragon Rider, hello, Mr. LKs. How about that shitty-ass ending to the show? I am Mr. Thank you very much. I've talked about it enough. It's a joke. It should be on Comedy Central. Like, the fact that people pay to go see that match, I just feel bad for them. Reigns botched that spear badly. He went way too up on Shane. Yeah, I hope he's okay. He wouldn't get punished for it, though, because he's Samoan and Vince likes Samoan penis. Mikey McAshman says, wouldn't be surprised if Shane got concussed. Yeah, same. Shane hit his head all the match. Shane hit his head all match, and the Coast to Coast spot was the cherry on top of the concussion cake. Yeah, we probably won't see Brock and Shane now after all those bumps. But Shane's a madman, he will. Kevin Eric Snell says, Dean Ambrose should be punished. Make Daniel Bryan call him John Moxley. Shoot, brother. No, he doesn't need to do that. He should be punished in like a way where his normal contendership's stripped. Paul says, so that's the main fucking event. Fuck Vince, fuck Dunn, fuck fucking Ellsworth. Props to Strowman for fucking up that fucking imbecile. So Brock got squashed, go figure. Comment of the night. Great job. Mike Ashman says, Doc's health helped him to the back. I'm not sure if the live cam caught Shane's kids running to the back following their dad. Oh, see, we didn't see that. Oh, we did not see that. I hope that man's okay. I'm tempted to check on the sheets just before I finish going live, because that's dodgy. Daniel Price says, Vince is still mad because Taker would not job for Shane at Mania, and Taker is still mad he was asked to job for him. That's fair enough. Ken X Snell says, Goldberg Lesnar was polarizing. The 411 reviewer loved the looking. The guy liked it? What? For who? The 411. I have no idea what that is, but shame on him. See, look, I didn't come in here and I didn't bullshit you. I say the wrestling's good, and I say the writing's bad. That's what I pride myself in this channel on. Like, we all have different opinions on this channel, every one of us, but we mainly agree on the win, loss, or tie because it's just the truth. Like, that 411 guy is probably trying to get paid by the WWE to do that, so he can get free tickets, free merch, maybe a sponsorship or something like that. I don't give a fuck if WWE wants to pay me. I would rather come out here and be honest and have some fucking dignity and go to sleep with my head held high than have millions of views. Perhaps says, so pissed off at this company. Dragon Rider says, isn't it funny how at an NXT Toronto we got W's match of the year and the next day we got the worst match of the year? It's funny. Andy Pap says, can't wait for Wrestle Kingdom 11. Me too. Heavy J says, I love the Roman wake up chant. Dragon Rider, I skipped everything past the women's match up until the last 5 minutes of the male Survivor Series match. Did I miss anything good? I didn't think so. No. I'm being fucking honest with you here, my friend. There is nothing. Andy Pap says, the in-ring action was great. The story has made no sense. Agreed. Like, if Vince did not touch this, if he did not put his dirty old saggy hands on this show would have been good. GTS Het 81 says, I think they were taking an MMA angle for Goldberg versus Lesnar since they're both MMA fans. I was excited to see this match. It left me completely shocked. Now, that's a good question to leave us on, and thank you everyone so much for all the live comments. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to quickly check on let me just check on our website quickly, see if there's any updates regarding the Shane McMahon concussion injury. And no, there's no update yet regarding Shane McMahon, so we all thoughts and prayers. Hopefully he's okay, not too concussed. That's a great comment. Right at the end, it's an MMA feel, but it left him shocked. Now, are they trying to use that shock as oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, look, Goldberg beat Brock. Now watch Raw. But the thing is, guys, if that happens, and say you go on YouTube tomorrow and Goldberg spearing Brock Lesnar on WWE's YouTube channel has 10 million views, and an extra 1 million people tune into Monday Night Raw saying, what the fuck, Goldberg? And then they watch the 3-hour show, and they're so bored, there'll be mass suicides that Vince has to deal with. Loads of court cases, because Raw's fucking suicidal, being honest. And then they lose people. That's the problem. They do these big things to try and shock people. They get the shock. People watch Raw the next night and they go, fuck this shit. Raw sucks. I'm upset and miserable because I have to cover Raw tomorrow. It sucks. It does. And I'm apologize to you, Mike Cashman, for going live. And Vince won't apologize, but I will. I'm sorry I'm glad you enjoyed the wrestling. Because in the end of the day, we're all wrestling fans here and we enjoy the product. The wrestling was good on this show. But I refuse to put a show over that was booked like a fucking 6-year-old. Literally, it was like Vince had Shane's boy say, what do you think we should do at Survivor Series? Like, come on, it's poor and it's not good enough. So that's going to do it for this year's Survivor Series 2016 review. I hope you all enjoyed this show. I had a good time recording it. I hope you also did. I want to thank everyone for joining me live, and I'm glad our numbers are up for this live because our live audience has been dipping a bit, and I'm happy that you guys are back with us live. We'll be here live after every Raw review, after every SmackDown show. We'll be here live after every NXT. Thursdays is Lucha Underground and Lucha Elite. Friday is always TNA and Ring of Honor. Saturday day off. Sunday, whatever show it is, and independent wrestling. And Japanese wrestling spread throughout the week. Also check out Wrestling Ranted, check out Dave Koco's book. If you really enjoyed this show and would like to support me, I have my own Patreon page. It's in the description box below. There's lots of different pledges, either $1, $5, or $20, and they all give you different perks. One of them even include being on a show with me. So head over and check that out. I have a Facebook page which I've just launched, facebook.com/LK Wrestling, where I'll keep you up to date of when and where I'm going live. I want to thank each and every one of you. Hit the like button, drop us a comment on what you thought of this show. Hit that subscribe button so you know when we're going live each and every time. I hope I've entertained you enough here. Fuck Zack Ryder, kill Mojo Rawley, Kevin Dunn, suck my penis, Vince, chop off your penis. Stay safe, stay well. From LK from KocoSports, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be catching your asses down the line.